Hello and welcome to a Fanime Podcast. I'm Evan.
I'm Funny Bunny J.
I'm Birbit.
I'm Tenchi Hanka.
And I'm Kisaka.
Alright, so this one was actually Jay's idea. What we're going to do this time around is actually address a lot of recurring themes from the Fanime Confessions blog on Tumblr. And so we've gone through and chosen a few things. We're not talking about any specific posts, just kind of things that people bring up a lot and concerns that people have, I guess you could say.
Yeah, things that we feel should be discussed to some extent. Because there are some Fanime Confessions that recur a lot that aren't really like, there's no need to discuss them. Like, oh, I like Nelly Potter. Oh, I like Tokyo Magic Star. No need to really discuss those. It's like, yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, there isn't a lot to say about I wish Care Bear Stars would come back.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah.
I was about to bring up one that maybe we should discuss, though, is a lot of people think the Fanime community is not very welcoming.
Indeed.
Common confession occurring.
Some people seem to think the Fanime community is bad, or in some cases should not exist at all.
Being in the Fanime community, I think I have to disagree with that.
I don't think there really is a way to just stop the community from existing. You can make it less connected, but
You can't just be like, okay, no more community. And then everyone's like, okay.
You're not allowed to talk to each other. Go home.
Yeah, I don't really understand like where people that say that are coming from, because generally the experiences I've had with the community have all been positive. So I don't know what they would have to have, been through to just say that the community is outright bad and that it shouldn't exist.
Well, I heard that the community used to have a lot more arguments back in the day. So I can imagine if someone used to have a lot of arguments and then sees this community still around, they're like, oh,
Here comes the drama again.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess that would make sense, someone with an outdated view of things. But even long ago, when there were dramas and stuff, it seemed like it mainly just affected a few different people.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't even necessarily a community-wide thing. It would just be a feud between a few people who, I guess, had more of a following, and so sometimes their followers would kind of take sides on things, but...
It wasn't even that, though. It was that, but it was a lot of specifically, other people just disliking other people who happen to be popular as well, or well-known, and that's when things got even worse because they had a following than groups of people or against other groups of people because that person was mad at that person.
But those problems they don't really exist anymore.
They really don't.
That's not something that happens.
It is not. If anything, those groups or those, people, I don't know, out of, all the other people, the popular people especially, you don't see that. They're all very nice.
Yeah.
I think it was the age of the community at the time that really fed to that anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So things being blown out of proportion, I think, was just really more due to their naivety. So, yeah.
Naivete.
Yeah,
naivete.
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 Naive.
Shut up.
Okay.
Just shut up.
Anyway, yeah, I don't really know, what someone would say is bad about the current community, because there really aren't a lot of problems between people so much.
Well, there is, I wouldn't say it's necessarily a problem with the community, but I have, had some few not so good experience, not because I tend to offend people really easily, in this community at least. I've never had that kind of problem with any other community, but a group of people that are too easily offended, I think is better than a group of people who offend me. Offensive, I guess.
I guess so.
Too sensitive is better than too insensitive is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I guess.
So, yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing, but that's one minor problem that I've had.
Easily offended versus easily offending.
Yeah. Like, gaming communities I've been in, just constant insults being spewed for no reason, and it's like, that's not good. I think Fanime community is fine.
But yeah, it's kind of hard to make a specific argument when saying that the community is, not bad, because it's just not, there aren't really any great ways of putting it, but like more specifically, I've seen a lot of people say that it's not welcoming, like it's hard to get into. They don't know how to contact anyone or how to talk to anyone, and they feel like people don't want to talk to them because they're new here, something like that. And I feel like that's also not the case. It's more just an issue of you have to approach people, like, because especially being a community of artists and on the internet, and in a very specific part of the internet, a lot of people are not that outspoken. They're kind of shy, a little more withdrawn. So, like, there isn't always going to be a welcome wagon. But if you, make the effort to talk to these people, they will generally talk back to you and not have any kind of problem doing so.
Right. I mean, the community is rather social. They like talking to one another.
Right.
It's just about actually doing so.
Yeah, getting to meet people can be a little bit slow, but it's not that people don't want to meet you. You kind of have to put in some effort into that, I would think. I don't think the community is really unwelcoming at all. Like, every time I, especially add people into the Fanime Skype group, it's always just a huge just deluge of welcomes and, hi, what do you do, and what's your favorite thing, and stuff like that, and everyone can't wait to get to know them, but it's kind of sad that people have the misconception that we're unwelcoming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily even have to be good at making conversation to be recognized in the current Fanime community. You kind of just have to keep talking, I guess. You have to say something. You have to.
Right.
You just
if
have
you
to
don't say
something.
anything, why should people? How could people pay attention to you if you're not saying anything?
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Yeah. So on that particular thing, I guess I already said it. It's just you kind of have to extend yourself to be welcomed. You can't always expect people to reach out for you and welcome you without you kind of saying, hey, what's up? I want to be in your community.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of have to introduce yourself a little bit sometimes. Other times, there are some people that'll just go out and say, like, hey, you're cool. Do you want to hang out or something? Like I said, it's not as common around these parts of the way.
You can't really depend on that happening. 'Cause it doesn't usually happen.
Like,
if you want to make a lot of friends, you gotta go the extra mile. You gotta talk to people.
You just have to talk to people.
Yeah.
Yeah, just up your own involvement, and people will start recognizing you, such as something simple like commenting on someone's Fanime. And then you can see some of the other people who just watch or make things themselves and get to know, if you're just starting out, you can just get to know the people through that.
Yeah. I guess one thing you could possibly say to not be welcomed so well, I guess, is if you were to say something like, Ruby's my favorite Fanime, because a lot of people don't consider that a fan. I guess that's something that could screw up your reputation, but yeah. No, I don't even think people would get that mad about that.
That reminds me, just because I feel like this is relevant to Ruby, I had a customer at work today say that I reminded them of a Ruby character and showed me a picture.
Really?
Oh, jeez, which one?
I don't know. It was like a girl, I don't watch Ruby, but it was like a girl.
The ice cream girl?
I don't know. It was a girl that had two different colored hair. So
I didn't know there was.
Did she have an umbrella?
I don't know. The picture that he showed was a fan art picture from Pixiv. So.
Oh, okay.
I was thinking the umbrella one too. I think it's her.
Yeah, that's probably it.
It was kind of strange though, because I wasn't sure what to say. So I was like, oh yeah, I know Ruby. I'm like, I'll take that as a compliment. And he's like, yeah.
I saw a post on Tumblr. I think there's an upcoming character in Danger Level that also has the half black, half pink hair. And I was like, that looks just like Hisaka.
Congratulations, Hisaka. You're in Danger Level now.
Awesome.
How's it feel?
I feel like I'm in danger.
What is the level of the danger?
I reached you to the joke!
It's over 9,000.
I think
You're fired.
Gosh dang it!
we're gonna have to let you go.
It's just not working out. We
It's
kind of
not
have to
good.
downsize. You know.
Yeah, we don't want the Fanime community to be welcoming anymore, so you're out.
The Fanime community is welcoming. It's not welcoming to Kisaka. You're not allowed here anymore.
Oh,
You messed up.
I done goofed.
You memed. You're double fired now.
God.
Oh no. What were we talking about?
Ruby, apparently.
Somehow we were talking about
Fanime.
Ruby. I don't know.
I'm so sorry.
Podcast was supposed to be about confessions.
I'm kind of worried no one will watch it.
I want to make
Just
that
like.
expression
Oh,
I'm worried that no one will watch their Fanime.
Oh.
Messed me up. I was doing so well. No, another concern that a lot of people have, though, is that for whatever reason, no one will watch their show. Like, it could be for anything. Maybe they just don't think it's a popular genre, or it doesn't have, characters that adhere to popular standards and just things like that. And that's kind of a concern that I think no one should ever have, to be
No,
honest.
never.
Because if anime has taught me anything, it's that you can post anything and someone will like it.
Absolutely.
There's a following for anything.
I mean, magic
not only
heart. I mean,
Not only will someone like it, but someone will definitely watch it.
Yeah, people will absolutely watch it.
Like, yeah, and also, like, things like YouTube, it doesn't tell you, like, specifically how many people have watched it, or, like, who's watching it, or if people are watching it or not, but guaranteed, people are watching those videos.
Right.
It just might not be obvious.
Mm-hmm. That also, similar to this community can be pretty shy. So, like at times. So, I don't know, some people just don't comment because they themselves are too afraid to, so.
Yeah, another thing that kind of bothers me a little bit about that kind of confession is, like, I feel like you shouldn't let the popularity be such a big factor, if that makes sense. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if you're making a fanime to be popular, I feel like you're kind of making it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
I can understand, like, it would be discouraging if you didn't get any attention, but, yeah, fanime shouldn't be made for attention, and if you want attention, fanime is not the way to go. Let's Plays is the way to go if you want that.
A good point.
Fanime about Let's Plays.
No, don't suggest anything else, please.
I will suggest everything.
You're gonna destroy fanime.
Well, some people want that, apparently, so.
Well, they can have it.
I mean, some people want Fanime to go away, I guess.
They're not going to have that because there's too many people, too many factors. For
Raise his
life.
hand. Salute. Something I was going to say, and I don't remember what I was going to say.
You don't know how to start your next topic?
No, it was relevant. I see what you were doing there. I just messed it up.
Like how people don't know how to start their fanime.
Yeah.
I feel like we've talked about this one before.
We talked about it in the last podcast we recorded,
Yeah.
which
Like,
might or might
I
not
see
be
that
posted.
so many, like in so many confessions. It's just everywhere. I don't know how to start my fanime.
I guess in my case, I'll just reiterate what I said before in short form. My advice to anyone that doesn't know how to start making a fanime is to just do it. Just start doing it as quickly as possible. Just start making something. and even if it turns out to be not that good, you can always revisit it later, or, make it better in the future. Just keep going. Just make something.
Yeah, this kind of applies to the last confession we're talking about and this one. But, like, I feel like your fanime will get some attention and will get appreciated to some extent as long as it's not, like, bad and the only joke is that it's bad. Even if it looks bad, if you take it seriously at all, then at least I will appreciate it a little bit.
Yeah, and like...
It's...
Go ahead.
It's more likely for more people to take it seriously if you yourself take it seriously.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And you shouldn't, like, really worry about, like, because, like, I mean, bad is really all, like, an opinion. So, I mean, you shouldn't be worried about, like, trying to live up to other people's, like, expectations, like, or, like, assumed expectations. Like, don't try and make, like, I don't know, don't take a fanime and be like, I want mine to look like that or look better than that. You should just make it to be how you want it to be.
Yeah, because ultimately, you just want to have fun with it.
Yeah.
That's kind of the whole point.
Yeah.
You want to have fun with it, and you want it to be fun for other people to watch.
Yeah, so it doesn't, in my opinion, it doesn't really have to look good to be good, as long as there's some effort in it.
Yeah.
It's good enough for me.
I think it's good for them to challenge themselves, though, to get, like, to improve and stuff.
Right, but if that's what they want to do, though. If that's what they want to do,
Yeah,
then
I mean,
absolutely.
But,
Shouldn't
like,
challenge
they
yourself
don't need
too
to.
much.
Yeah.
Shouldn't like be too pressured to the point where you don't even want to make a fanime anymore. But yeah, I guess some degree of pressure could be nice to sort of encourage you to improve.
And also, I imagine it would be really boring to just, like, give no effort over and over again. Like, I wouldn't be able to imagine making a whole series of, like, Tokyo Magic Mew.
Looks at aliens.
Well, it would be easy, at least.
Well, you're...
Sandra goes to school.
I have to defend aliens, okay? You're still putting in effort because you're still having some sort of effort to make it funny, at least.
Same thing can be said about Sandor Goes to School.
Yeah. Like, the point of those series is, like, to have a laugh. So... Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, it doesn't really have to look amazing. Just, try some degree. Take it seriously to some degree, at least.
Some degree.
Ultimately, just have fun with it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you really enjoy making, bad troll fanimes, then do what your heart wants to do, although those are...
Well, I can't promise that people will appreciate it.
Yeah.
I can't promise that we'll get recognition for that,
But if you're comfortable making something that's just kind of intermediate in terms of, like, visual quality and doesn't necessarily require that much effort, but releases often, tells a good story, or makes people laugh, or just anything that entertains people, do what you're happy with. Have fun with it.
Yeah, like, it doesn't have to be anime.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be professional quality, because in most cases we're not professionals and we're not getting paid and we don't have, all the time in the world. We've got other things to do. So
yeah, but I meant kind of anime themed, as some may assume that all fanime have to be.
that is...
Yeah. I really disagree with that whole it must be anime thing, because, I don't know, I get super pumped when it looks more cartoonish. Like, I don't know. It seems more interesting to me. So you don't have to worry if you, quote-unquote, can't draw anime. You can do it in your own style, and people will still find it cool and interesting.
Yeah, it's just where, like, the term cut, like, originated from.
Yeah, people get that misconception, which is understandable because we call it fanime.
Right.
But even despite that, like, more modern shows are not nearly as anime inspired as they used to be. Like, it's reached a point now where there are several shows I could name that don't resemble anime at all, or don't have anime-esque storylines or, characters or things like that. It's just, that's what it's been called since it started, I guess, for a very long time. But the title, what we call our community, does not limit, what's accepted here. And ultimately, it's just animation, and the style doesn't matter. The style doesn't matter at all.
It's just animation with a label.
Mm-hmm.
And just because it's not anime style does not mean that people won't like it, because people
Right.
absolutely will.
I feel like people almost might like it more because it's, it's different.
You can look at something like Ghost Club, or what's another one? I said I could name a lot, but nothing's coming to my mind
Nothing.
right now. Well,
Ghost Club and Animal Drama and something else maybe.
Oh, Animal Drama.
I could argue that Care Bear Stars is, that's like 2007 era stuff. It's still popular today, even though it's been canceled for several years. It's not an anime style at all.
That's true.
Yeah, and even anime itself, by now, is not even necessarily bound by the anime style, because, like, there are some animes that look Americanish, like Panty and Stocking, for example.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't even... Yeah, so by no definition would anime have to be bound by a certain style.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the visual appeal of a show is not defined by just the style.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say if you're better and more comfortable with a non-anime style, then go for it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, people won't complain. I never heard anyone complain about that.
Yeah, literally, I've heard no one complain about that ever.
Not once.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen anyone look at something like Ghost Club and be like, I don't like this style because it doesn't look like Sailor Moon or Naruto or...
It's not anime enough.
Yeah, like people don't say that. That's just not a thing.
There was actually one Fanime confession that was like, I absolutely love the Ghost Club style. I like it more than actual anime.
Yeah, so like, definitely don't be discouraged if you can't or don't want to draw anime style.
Yeah, the funny thing about that is, like, the shows that aren't in anime style tend to be pretty popular. Like, I don't think I can name one that isn't well-liked,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's because it defeats the norm, so it's even more interesting.
And usually, people that make something in their own style, they're kind of more sure of what they're doing. They're not just trying to, copy something that they like so much as they found their own style. So it's absolutely a good thing. Don't be afraid of it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Embrace it.
Like, something like Jinko Chino Rumble, it's like a lot less anime than, I guess, some other Fanimes. And, like, how quickly people just flocked to that, right? So.
I would know all.
Exactly.
Crappy transition. Fanime confessions that say Fanime is unoriginal. A lot of them are very Tokyo Mew Mew and Sailor Moon inspired.
Just
don't have to be an
your
expert to know this.
transition, unoriginal.
For someone else that doesn't know?
Sick burn.
Burn!
Actually, I don't think people have done
I
that
don't
kind of
think anyone is
transition.
that terrible in a transition before. I think that's a record.
So guys, let's transition to this next topic.
Let's transition smoothly without anyone noticing that we even changed subjects. No, but that's kind of a thing that could go either way. It's definitely a generalization that I've seen people make before, but it really depends on each series. It's not going to be the same with everyone, but Fanime did start off as just a totally unoriginal medium, to be honest. Like, it was pretty much based off of animes that people liked, and so I can see why someone would draw the conclusion that maybe the entire thing is unoriginal, or some people even think that Fanime just means that it's based off of an anime. Like, some people don't understand that it even can be original, but at the same time, now especially, I think most fanime is telling its own story. It's not based off of anything. It's, not even necessarily inspired by anything. It's just kind of a story that that person made and wants to tell.
Yeah. Fanime overall, though, there are quite a lot of them that are unoriginal, so I can see where they're coming from. But the thing is, though, if you go by that kind of logic, almost any medium has a lot of unoriginal content.
Right.
Nothing is original nowadays. Everything is always inspired from something else.
Yeah, pretty much. So, like, yeah, but I can see where Fanime's unoriginal is coming from, though, because that has been a problem, especially in the past.
Yeah, the statement has merit to it. It's just not good to generalize that, because it's not always true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, Tenchi, what do you think about animes and being original or unoriginal?
Hurry up so I can transition silently into the next subject.
Transition better than Funny Bunny J does.
Man, people like Miss Aluna, Funny Buddy J inspire me to be original.
Do they?
Yeah. About originality, I don't really think it's that much of an issue, considering that, like, you're basically making whatever you want. Like, if you want to make something based off of an anime, go ahead. Like, it's not like it's going to really affect other people negatively, other than, I don't know, not being original.
It has sort of damaged the reputation of the community a bit, though. Like, I've noticed plenty of Let's Watchers, or even some people on Fanime Confessions think that, Fanime is filled with, like, crappy magical girl stuff, and, troll Fanime.
Yeah, but, like,
So
that
there's a
kind of,
downside.
their judgment shouldn't really affect, like, what if people want to do that, they should be
That's
allowed
true.
to. They shouldn't be given all this random BS from Let's Watchers and stuff,
Or just random
because
people.
they're doing, like, what they want.
Mm-hmm.
Although it does lead into another point that a lot of people bring up, which is that they think there's too much magical girl in Fanime.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that because, like, I don't know, magical girl seems like a good, like, scapegoat, because you can, I don't know, well, first off, I like the magical girl genre because of, like, basically, like, the limitless ability you have, and also, it's fun, you can, I don't know, there's just excitement to it because of the genre itself, but at the same time, I also kind of feel like it's a scapegoat, because you can make up your own rules to the world, so much so you don't have to follow lines of reality or making sense, and you can cover up plot holes with other stuff, and I don't know.
Yeah, I would say I like the magical girl genre itself, and some fanimes do some magical girl fanimes I would consider to be some of the best fanimes out there, but I can see how it would be a problem that there's a handful of magical girl fanimes that don't do anything to make themselves stand out at all whatsoever. Like,
They
there are
don't
some magical
challenge
girl-
the genre.
Yeah, there are some magical girl fanimes that will follow every single cliche and not really add anything new to it.
Yeah,
So I wouldn't say the problem's with the genre itself, but some people, or a handful of them, don't make unique magical girl fanime.
the biggest thing I think that people need to realize when they say that, oh, there's too much magical girl, oh, I'm so tired of magical. Fanime was built on magical girl. Like, that's pretty much all there was at the beginning.
Yeah, absolutely. That's all there was.
Like, that's the root of the community. So, yeah, I can definitely say that there are a lot. I've taken statistics, and I don't have a specific, exact number with me right now, but I know that it's about 30% of all Fanime are magical girl. So it is a lot of the community.
It's not as much as, like,
And the
people
content.
make it out to be, though. So,
But-
I mean, 30%'s a lot, but, I mean, that other freaking 70%, though.
That's 1 in every 3 almost, though.
Yeah.
That is a lot.
Hmm.
If you were to watch every fanime, then every 3 fanime would be a magical girl.
At the same time, though, there are a lot of shows, or at least a few of them, that kind of take a different approach to it, to a point where it almost doesn't feel like a magical girl show because they do it differently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those I don't think are a problem, and I don't think anyone has a problem with those.
Yeah, I feel like just people don't like give the some of the others like enough credit or like enough notice to really count them. They're just like, oh, there's these shows. That's all I'm going to be thinking about when, ranting about how much magical girl there are. When in reality, there's a ton of other ones that just either escaped their mind or haven't entered it yet.
This is a little off, but I just wanted to slip this in here. I find it funny that 3 people out of the 5 here all have magical girl Fanimes.
Technically 4.
Oh yeah, technically
Oh, yeah.
4. Technically 4.
Always forget about Tokyo Magic Mew.
Yeah, Tokyo Magic Girl.
Very forgettable series.
Hey, when's your magical girl show coming out?
It's going to come out tomorrow. It's going to be called Sandra Goes to Magical Girl.
Sandra Goes to Magical Girl.
Goes to magical girl. Sandra goes to magical girl school.
Giant magical girl.
Oh no.
Falls into her nose.
Sounds great.
First Fanime crossover.
Special, super
Best
special.
Fanime crossover.
The one that everyone was looking forward to, I mean.
Saw Derek's Coach Ko, though, am I right? He'd probably be more with a headmaster.
I can see that. I don't know. I know. Her Nurse Harmony. She has the pink hair and all, so.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, but it's Nurse
What color
Harmony.
were What color were Sally's eyes?
Pink.
Oh man, that ruins everything.
I like that they're
That
also
was
pink.
Sandor's like all about ruining things.
He does like to ruin everything because he's evil, and he blatantly states it a lot.
What were we talking about?
I don't know.
Magical girl.
I'm sorry.
Magical girl. Although I will say, for the 30% statistic, I will say that a lot of those are parodies or trolls or whatever you want to call them, which are magical girl just because there's a lot of magical girls. So you could probably cut it down to around 15 to 20% of not parody shows that are magical girl.
Even like counting the people here, half of them are parody, or at least started out that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think there are probably more parody magical girl shows than serious ones at this point, to be completely honest. Because that's something that's parodied a lot.
Yeah.
That makes sense, but at this point, the irony of making fun of bad fanime by making a bad fanime is like, you're kind of doing what you're making fun of. It's ironic at this point.
Yeah. My favorite are the ones, or I say my favorite, I mean that sarcastically for anyone. For anyone. Yeah, but the ones that they set out to make something so bad that people can't watch it, and people don't watch it.
Or some people watch it for like 5 seconds and regret it.
It's like, have you accomplished something at that point, or are you disappointed?
Right. They
Because
want
it's
them
like,
to
you
watch
wanted it to be so bad that people couldn't watch it, but no one watched it, so
It's funny.
is that a good thing or a bad thing? I see that a lot. The main thing people forget about parody, though, is that parody is supposed to be funny. You know?
Yeah.
Satire is supposed to be funny. You can't just make something bad for the sake of making it bad and expect that to be funny, because that's not funny if you know that it's only bad for the sake of being bad. Like,
You can't have a joke without a punchline.
I
right.
think I used to find it funny, but it's been so overdone
Well,
at
see,
this
it was
point.
funny
Don't
at
get me wrong.
first.
There are some that do it well,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
but the overwhelming majority are trying to catch the magic that those few did and cannot, fall completely flat.
So many have done it wrong, but I would generally recommend that you don't attempt to make a troll fanime, but, I mean, I can't stop you if you want to do it, go ahead.
Right. Just do it for the right reason, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't make something bad just because you think it'll get a lot of views because it's bad. That's not the right reason. You're not going to get any views. Make something funny. Make something entertaining.
Make it bad because you
Would be my advice.
Make it bad because you want it to, like, that's part of the humor, that it is bad, but it has to have actual jokes in it. Like, it's bad, that can't be the punchline.
Yeah, that has to be part of the humor. It can't be all of the humor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way.
We complain about troll fanime a lot, but it is a really common thing. It is a big issue, so...
Yeah, and it happens, like, all the time. Like, people are always making new ones.
The overall percentage of troll fanime right now is around 40%, so...
That's horrible.
It's a very big part of the community.
Almost one in every two.
And I think for 2015, it was actually closer to 50%, like, or maybe even over 50% at one point. I'm not sure what the statistic is right now.
That's honestly depressing.
It was pretty bad. Like the first 3 months were pretty
I
bad.
don't like to complain without offering a solution, but, like, I don't feel like there is much of a solution because the people who make these troll fanimes, they're often the ones who don't, like, talk to the fanimators, I guess. So there's no way to get the word out to them.
Yeah.
To give them this advice. So, yeah.
It's one of those things where it's kind of a problem, but it's also not a problem because the people that do make these things, and especially the ones that don't really have much comedic value or just entertainment value in general, they just don't get watched and no one really talks about them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's like
People
on
don't have to
paper,
watch them.
looking at the statistics, it looks bad, but people don't really care about those things.
Right.
That's very, very true.
Yeah, I remember there was this one time where I was playing. I was asking a would you rather question. I was like, would you rather get rid of half of all the really bad troll fanimes or have Terraluchas come out? And everyone just picked they would rather have Terraluchas come out without a doubt because you don't have to watch the troll fanime.
Right. You can just
Mhm.
ignore it. We've gone a little bit off topic here, but we can go back on topic.
With another smooth transition.
With a very smooth transition. Brought to you by Verizon Wireless, Nippon.
Coca-Cola.
I think it was AT&T Nippon, wasn't it? Or what? No, it was Verizon Wireless.
Pooty.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Let's get our smooth AT&T transition. So the standard for Fanime is too low or too high.
Well, we kind of just talked about that for like 5 minutes. Well, I guess we didn't talk about whether or not we think the standard is low or high.
Yeah, that's kind of a back and forth thing with confessions. Like, there are a lot of people that think the standard's too low, and a lot of people that think it's too high. So, I guess Shayna is gonna say something.
My opinion is that the standard is low, but I think it's rightfully so because nearly none of us are professionals. So why would it be really high? I don't see the point of it being a really high standard, you know?
Yeah,
I would say
agree. It
that
seems a bit low to me. With a few exceptions are really good, but I wouldn't say those few exceptions set the standard.
Yeah, it's just like, wow, that's a really amazing thing. I'm glad it's out there, but I'm not going to expect everyone else to be able to do this and better.
Yeah.
for me personally, I don't think there is a standard. I think it's just people like what they like for whatever reason. Like if something comes out that has really good animation and, you know, really good art, people like that. But if something comes out and the art's not quite as polished and the animation is maybe less frames or something like that, people will still give that, you know, credit just for different reasons. It's not really about overall quality. I'm having trouble structuring this argument.
Yeah, no, I see where you're coming from. Basically, you're saying that everyone has their own individual standards. It's not like It's
Yeah,
not like
there's
there's a whole community standard that you have to match up to. That doesn't really exist.
right. If you post something that's maybe not as good as something else, people aren't gonna say, "Oh, well, this isn't good as magical fish women, so I'm not gonna watch it. It's terrible." You know, no one's gonna say that. They'll find something else to like about it. Like, people don't generally care too much. Like, so I guess by that logic, the standard is kind of low, but I think it doesn't matter. Like,
Yeah.
Well, how I see this is that, like, the standard seems to be low within people that are in the community, and then people that are outside of the community, the standard is really high because they're not, like, aware of who's behind the animation, who the one person is without a budget behind the animation. You know, their expectations are, like, as high as comparing it to anime and everything. But, like, the people working on it, person working on it, is just one person with no, like, training or anything. Just using their spare time on something. Like, your standard really shouldn't be that high for that, but the people outside of the community aren't aware of it, so their standards would be much higher.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, actually, that's very true. I've seen it for myself now that I think about it. Like, you don't know how hard it is to animate unless you've tried it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, they would really have to try it for themselves in order to know. And then the people within the community already know, so their standards can go as low as, like, liking pretty much anything, because it's hard to make pretty much anything.
Yeah. Yeah, so my advice to that is don't worry about the standard. Like, yeah.
Everybody
it
has
can
their own
be-
real opinion, so I don't think there's a real standard that exists.
Yeah.
right. I would say kind of what I've been saying this whole time. Don't really worry about it. Just have fun with it. Like, it doesn't have to look great to be entertaining. It doesn't have to have, you know, thousands of hours poured into every episode. Just
Yeah.
if you don't think it's good enough, post it anyway.
Yeah, people are pretty likely to like it anyways. Because I feel like everyone is their own harshest critic. No one's gonna... Chances are no one's gonna be as harsh about it as you are. About your own work.
Very true.
Yeah, and you don't need a dark twist necessarily to make a good fanime either.
Mm-hmm.
Anime confessions about dark twists is what I'm trying to transition to. I'm terrible.
Are you just gonna mention
Why you
every single
out yourself?
transition here? Is that the name of this podcast?
Funny
Transition
Jay,
Plus.
the transition master.
I'm Heaven, and this is a transition for the next subject.
Yeah, but I don't know what this person's talking about necessarily. Oh, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay. It's just something on mute.
We
But,
would be able to hear you better if you switched to Verizon Wireless Nippon with great 4G service worldwide.
Oh wow, that sounds great.
Does anyone get this
Wait,
joke?
wait.
No one
No,
gets this joke, right?
no, I don't
Oh.
get it.
I think Tashi does.
No.
No?
Oh, Fanime with all the-
No one gets this joke.
Joke is like as smooth as AT&T's, like, connection.
What is the joke? What is the joke?
Oh, wait a minute. There was this one Fanime that said something like that, right?
Oh, wait,
There
what's
was a
that?
scene in
That
a
was,
Fanime.
what was that called? It's a thing with Mewtwo, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Mystical Yearbook Showdown.
Okay, I didn't remember that.
Now.
Like,
I remembered that Fanime, but this had nothing to do with that Fanime, so I didn't make the connection.
Episode 4, it was like all they talked about.
Yeah, that one surprised me. I actually kind of liked it.
It was the volcano guy, and I don't remember
Thought I
his name.
wouldn't, but I did. But anyways, back on topic. We're way off topic. I don't see many dark twists in Fanime at all. I would actually like it a lot to see more of them.
It was all the rave for a while.
There was a period in like 2012, 2013 where a lot of things started to like kind of look edgy.
Yeah.
But I thought about it at that point because I remember I had talked about this too, where it was like, oh wow, a lot of shows are doing dark twists now. But when I really looked at the data and thought about it, there aren't actually that many. There aren't very many at all. It's just there are a few that are kind of spotlighted, but there aren't a lot of them.
Well, I know there was a lot more that talked about it that never actually did it too. So there's that.
Oh yeah.
They're like, oh, we're gonna
Seems
do
like
it.
every
but,
fan wants to do it.
Yeah, when it comes to dark theme, I think really all I can name is Tokyo Magic Star. And Project Unknown has a very dark just atmosphere to it as well.
Yeah.
But it's not as in your face.
I want to call that a twist coming from Project Unknown, because you can tell mentoring.
Yeah, basically what you see is pretty much the atmosphere. Yeah.
And they're like, oh, we've got all these people in one vial of morphine. Well,
but there's Welcome to the Panties Warfront.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I did not expect that one, so.
Yeah, that one certainly was a twist. But, yeah, I can't think of that many. I don't actually see it that often, so I don't
know if anyone remembers Baby Spirit Illusions.
I do not.
The name was then changed to something that I don't remember, and then it was changed to The Hopeless Accursed. That had
I definitely remember those names.
That one was going to get dark really fast, but it ended up being canceled, so it didn't really get to the part where the twist came in, per se. But other than the few that we've named so far, there aren't a lot that I can think of.
Yeah. Can't think of any myself.
I guess I feel like it's kind of a matter of those things tend to get popular, and so people feel like that's all they're seeing, when really it's just a few, and it's not even that bad. Personally, I'm all about dark entertainment,
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm always fine with dark twists. I can watch a dark twist every day and never get tired of it.
Yeah. Yeah, please kill that character and make their life terrible and tragic backstories and the like.
Tragedies are nice. In Fanime.
I'm all about it.
It kind of reminds me how, anime sort of does that thing as well.
Yeah.
You got Puella Magi Madoka Magica, and then you have that other thing that's pretty much the exact same thing.
Oh yeah, I can't remember the name, but it's with the cars and the magical girls.
I feel like Madoka might have inspired some of the dark
absolutely.
around that time,
back
in the 2012 era.
That's when it got really popular because of that.
It might have went into Fanime because of that.
Yeah, do any of you know if Tokyo Magic Stars is inspired by Madoka Magica?
I don't think so, but I don't know that for sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
I know that Maxine, the creator, does watch a lot of anime, but I don't know how she feels about Magical Girl. It doesn't seem like something she talks about very much.
Mm-hmm. She likes some Magical Girl, she's cosplayed a few, but she's more into the sports animes.
Yeah. That's
her thing.
That's what Indeed. It's pretty ironic. But
Wouldn't really surprise me either way, whether it was or wasn't inspired.
But I feel like Maxine and Shayna could be good friends, because Shayna is a person that likes, sports type stuff. Made a Magical Girl series. Wait. You're both pretty much the same.
Yeah,
actually.
I'm about to say, yeah.
I thought there was going to be some kind of yin and yang kind of thing, but I realized that you're both yin.
The only difference is that Shayna actually does and wants to do athletic stuff, whereas Maxine she doesn't generally do athletic stuff because she's doing other kawaii stuff.
Kawaii stuff is the best.
My life.
Duh.
I had something to say, and it was clever. I lost it. My life is seeping into my Fanime. The muscle thing.
The muscle thing.
And
the muscle thing? Okay.
Wonderful.
I used to live.
Can we make a smooth transition out of this conversation?
Please.
Well, if you want a smooth transition, I'm your guy.
Yeah, Jay, please.
Animators need to accept critique.
Alright, next topic. Next topic.
Smoothest.
You Yeah.
Evan, why won't you accept your Fanime update critique? Come on, man.
Well, it was like a 2-minute flash video. I don't know if that counts. But yeah, it's a pretty common debate, I suppose you could say. No, it's an argument that Fanimators in general, again, generalization, as a lot of these kind of are, don't accept critique well, and are usually like offended by it. They get upset and they think like, oh, you're just being mean to me and stuff like that. And then there are people that argue on the other side that it's not all like that, and some of those people that are like that, have a reason for being like that. But I think there's merit to both sides.
Yeah, you guys already talked about this in a previous podcast before, but I didn't get to say anything because I was not in that podcast. But yeah, I was thinking a lot throughout that is that a lot of people who do critiques, I think I might have already said this, that they have to understand that the person doesn't necessarily have to accept your critique, because sometimes your critique is wrong. That's the thing. So like, if they don't like your critique, then just move on. You don't have to force them to appreciate you pointing out what's wrong with their stuff.
Another thing is that like a lot of people don't present critique well. The ones that I've seen on YouTube and stuff, oftentimes it does come off as very rude. So I think when you're criticizing people without them asking you to, you have to be considerate. You have to be very careful about how you word it and make sure you make it clear that you're critiquing them, not attacking them, because sometimes it doesn't seem like that. It can be very not friendly seeming, even if that's not what you intended.
Yeah.
I kind of don't like the mindset of like anyone who gives a criticism thinks that they're a critic kind of thing, because like you have to be able to like analyze something very, I don't know, seriously and specifically with seeing every detail in order to really give like good criticism, which is not really a common thing to be a critic. So
Yeah.
Like just having an opinion isn't like the same thing, which I don't imagine a lot of people would think about.
Another thing is that people don't necessarily know the reason that it looks like that, or that it is that way. So some people, they'll criticize something, but maybe it's that way intentionally. Maybe that's just the amount of effort that was, put into it. It's not necessarily that the person isn't good at whatever it is they did. They just, that's what they did.
Right.
And there's a reason for it.
I think it boils down to like, critique all in all, unless you request it. Like, critique can come off as, unnecessary opinions. And I feel like, especially now, like, within, like, I don't know, social media and the way it's presented, as well as, I guess, social justice, in a way, is like, not everybody really wants to hear other people's opinions, and it comes to a point where, sometimes, their opinions don't matter. You don't have to listen to them. And that's how really, like, critique should be handled, too. Like, people generally critique to help, because they want to be like, oh, that's that. But, I mean, when you're critiquing something and nobody requests it, I don't feel people should be upset when the person who they're critiquing is upset by it. But at the same time, I feel like the person who's being critiqued should try not to get upset by it, because it is just, like, an opinion and they're trying to help. But I don't know. I feel like it's kind of like, it's hard. There's no right and wrong, unless you're just doing it to be mean. Then it's not
I was
critiquing.
about to say,
That's just being mean.
there is a wrong. If I was arguing with this one guy on the internet. This guy just said this video is stupid, and then the person who made the video is like, stop insulting me, and they're like, I'm just giving constructive criticism. And I responded, that criticism is not constructive. That does not help.
Yeah, like, a video.
Maybe it was stupid, though. Maybe you could go back to school and get its degree.
I mean, there's one quote, there's one thing that was said, that I don't know, I watched recently, was, an old TCM, like, interview thing that had, Mina's voice actor, and Crystal's voice actor. And one of the things that was said during it is, Crystal's voice actor was reading a comment on one of the videos, and they said, something rude. It was not a critique. It was just like, this doesn't look very good, this is dumb, or something like that. And then what she said is that that's not very nice to just just say that you just like, or not that it's not nice, but like, what are we supposed to do with this didn't look nice? Like, tell us what's wrong with it, or what you think we could do better, so that way we can grow from it and we can not keep doing that, or at least understand your point of view, so that we can have a better understanding of like, what other people think of it.
Yeah, and also a general recommendation when it comes to giving critique is, I would advise you to at least throw some compliment in there, even if it's not a big one. Just
Yeah, if you're gonna
That's
comment
what
on
I
a
was
video,
Don't just throw a compliment in there. Like,
Right.
mention the good things too. Like,
Yeah.
don't just talk about everything that you think is wrong with it.
Yes,
You should also
yes.
mention the parts that you liked when you're critiquing something, so that they know like what was well received and what could probably use some work. But even then, I would say be very careful about critiquing people that don't ask to be critiqued.
yeah. If they,
And don't critique people that specifically ask not to be critiqued.
yeah.
Because they definitely, obviously don't want it. Like, just don't.
And
Yeah,
then,
they're
like,
just doing it for fun, so there's no need to tell them to improve.
I think
no
there's
need
like
for them to
a
improve.
saying that goes around: if you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all.
Yeah.
So if you
Yeah,
can't
that's-
find anything you like about it, there's no reason.
And if you don't have a nice transition, you shouldn't transition at all. So,
Well, I guess I don't have to worry about that, because mine are the best.
we only have one topic left out of the ones, and that is people being afraid that they'll get ignored or swept under the rug because they're not popular in the community, or they're afraid that they won't be popular, or they just have this misconception about, I don't know, I guess like some kind of it crowd, or people that are praised more so than everyone else.
I feel like we have talked about this, but I'll try like reiterating what I might have thought I've already said before. Make your fanime for the reasons that you want to, not for popularity.
Indeed.
Yeah, also in my experience, it's become really easy to become popular.
From my
I don't know, you
experience,
just have
no
to-
one is popular, though.
Yeah, I guess popular might not be the right word, but like, there's, you're not going to be ignored if you dish out enough content and talk to people enough. It's really not super hard to get some recognition, I think.
Yeah, I think what people misinterpret as popularity is just knowing a lot of people. Like, know a lot of people in the community and be well received by them to have a good reputation, I guess, but that's technically popular. I don't know. Just talk to people. Just talk to people. It takes us all the way back to point one. Just talk to people.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I want to bring out is that popularity is actually really not that great of a thing. Like,
Yeah.
if you have it, you'll just have like a whole bunch of people telling you like, "Hey, do more of the thing that you do." I don't care about what your life is about. Just
Yeah.
entertain us with whatever you're popular with.
Looks at
It's
Shayna
like-
and Maxine.
Just like, hey, make more parodies.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Paper Tales from her parodies.
People, like, one guy has literally went to, like, my main channel, like, not the one with the parodies on it, my main channel, just like, please make more Grand Chase parodies. It's like, dude, this isn't even the right channel.
Get out of here.
Yeah, his English wasn't even that good. But you'll just have, like, people wanting more stuff, and that's not that great, really. Or, like, if you have, like, a tutorial thing, you'll just have people asking you questions. Or people trying to correct your tutorial, being like, hey, you could have done this, I don't care.
Yeah, my personal experience is that it's better to have like a small fan base that you really like than a giant fan base.
that complains at every turn and gets confused and doesn't know what's happening.
And doesn't like
It was a joke, people. It was a joke.
Oh, jeez.
Get confused.
I mean, I also think that, like, when it comes to, popularity, like, I mean, like, as you said, like, it's not what it all cracked up to be. But, like, I feel like your focuses shouldn't be, worried about, like, I want it to be popular. But more so, like, reaching out to others, I guess, which is I think is pretty easily accessible through the Fanime community, especially if you just, like, talk to a few people, because then most likely they're gonna watch your stuff. And I mean, pretty much, if you, I don't know, like, a majority of us who are in the Fanime community generally, like, watch everybody's stuff, especially if we talk to them, then, like, we're usually interested in what they have to show, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not good
You
with
can-
words.
You can talk to the Fanime community. I think the best ways to communicate with them is through Creative Studio Forum, Fanime Rehab Skype group, and Tumblr.
Yeah.
Like, if you talk on all of those 3 platforms, then
Or just
Yeah.
any of those 3
Yeah,
platforms.
any of
Yeah,
them,
like,
yeah.
One out of the 3 will be good enough.
Mm-hmm.
Even like just YouTube posting videos that just have Fanime in the title or something. Like in the tags.
Yeah, guarantee someone's gonna find it and
Watch it.
Yeah.
Even if you don't know. Like, yeah, I think it's really important to have a fan base that is more engaged than a big fan base.
Right.
Like, you could have,
right.
like, you could just have 100 people that's seen your video and not say anything, and you won't know. You'll just have, like, 500 views. Or you could have the 100 views, but have, like, 10 fan art from this one guy that really likes your series.
Or 500 from Jay.
Yeah, I feel like it's much more rewarding to have, like, an audience who is, like, engaged or even involved in the project itself. Like, it's much more rewarding that way.
yeah, definitely.
Even if your project is unknown.
How many times I'd like to go through every single podcast
No,
and
you don't.
just count
No, you
every
don't.
single time that freaking Project Unknown joke has been made. Oh my god.
While you're at it, watch Tokyo Crystal Mew, and Gilder than Mew Mew, and Eternal Megima, and say something to Lenrin Twin.
Gosh freaking darn it.
Tokyo Crystal Mew. Best transition.
It wasn't made by Jay, so I'm gonna have to disagree.
Darn it.
Gosh darn
I'm
it.
the transition master.
How are we going to transition to the end of this?
Yeah,
Depends.
Let's talk about this. How do you guys want to transition to the end of the video?
Well, I was thinking that maybe this time around, Jay and Tenchi could have really bad internet connection, and then we should just, like, end it.
See, I was going to say something like, because we were on Jay, so I was going to say, like, well, at some point, Jay's going to have to die, and all good things come to an end, and so does this podcast.
Oh, that's a good idea. That's a good idea.
That was the first thing that came to my mind.
You're pretty smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One transition that I think would be good is if Jay did the Sandor voice as the ending of the interviews.
Or what if we killed Jay, and
Stole his voice box.
Put it inside of someone else and have them do this.
That might take a while though, like the surgery and everything like that. Like,
Yeah, and traveling all the way to my house just to
I
kill
don't
me.
know. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, like it's only
this
like
can
a
be the
few
podcast extended edition. Edition.
Get on a plane, buy with a
Let's just
Wi-Fi.
travel like 10,000 miles and get everybody together.
10,000.
Travel 10,000 more.
Gosh
Actually, it would take a lot more than 10,000 miles. That's just to Australia.
So that transition that we were talking about, we should decide on one of them.
Nah.
Yeah.
Well, that's all the time we have for today, mortals. Join me next time as I think of a bad transition. Good night, everyone. And prepare yourselves to witness the face of demise. That was bad. I couldn't
Bye.
do it.
Bye.
Perfect. The transitions there were flawless.